Good morning, everyone. It has begun. 17 minutes? I thought it was 20. How's everyone doing this morning? Had a good party last night? What a better way to start the day than talk about adult games and opportunities for developers. So let's get going. So what is an adult game? An adult game, according to ESVBR, it can be defined as a game with explicit nudity or explicit sex scenes. It's as simple as that. Is this a new thing? Right? According to you guys, is this new? I don't think so. San Andreas, 2004, we played that. We were all looking for the right scenes. Leisure Suit Larry, right? Classic. Let's see it. Oh, can we start the video? I have a quick video in this slide, but I can't seem to have the right button to do it. There we go.
Actually, Larry, I was hoping you wouldn't mind using this.
A strap-on?
Well, I know it's awkward, but I've never actually made love to a man before. I'm saving myself for someone I find attractive. This way, I get to have the experience of sex with a man, but still keep my virginity. Just think of it as a helper.
Maybe if I get her all hot and bothered with a strap-on, she'll get horned up enough to want the real deal. Oh, yeah. Okay, sure, I'll do it. Why not?
Well, skip that part, it's R-rated. Even CDI, Philips launched CDI back in 1993, and they had the Joy of Sex interactive DVD, which is not young. So let's get back to our approach to this. Our approach to the adult game market is about adultification, adultifying games. Because, how does it work? So basically, in traditional games, you'll have your character starting with very weak armor plates and weapons and so on and so forth. In our world, characters start fully loaded and they get nude. So reverse the paradigm, guys. Just reverse the paradigm and it works. Trust me, I'll show you the numbers a little bit later. Another example from Attack on Moe H, character fully dressed, slowly getting undressed as you're performing, as you're reaching the levels, as you're progressing within the game, up until you have your nude character. Simple enough? Graphic enough? You guys get it? Very simple. But it starts with a great game. It always starts with a great game. Because you don't respect players if you're trying to gamify porn. Whereas our approach is adultifying great games first and foremost. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here to meet with you guys. Let's see some examples of games that are being adultified on the platform. As you'll see, the game mechanics are classic, either RPG, clickers, card collecting games, match 3 puzzle games, and so on and so forth. You'll see the numbers, we currently have a little over 200 games on the platform. All of them contain either H scene or literally explicit adult sex scenes. Because of time, I will cut this one short and we'll go back to the other one. So, how do you make money as a developer? And we've heard that question, you probably heard that question 12 times yesterday, and it's one of the questions that's on top of your mind. How am I going to make money when less than 1% of the games on the platforms are actually performing? There's just too many games. Discoverability, user acquisition budgets are off the charts because you're competing with the big boys on the traditional platforms. Even the best games of the world won't make money if people aren't talking about it or you're not featured. It's as simple as that. You have the best idea, of course, but discoverability is going to be an issue. And that's a challenge for young developers and up-and-coming developers. So, how did we get there? We were a game developer first and foremost. Super Hippo created 2 games. We invested $1 million to develop Pirate Legends, 11 months of development, you know what that is, and we generated $400,000. We consider this as a fail. And then we tried it again. So, hey, we're better than the others. We're going to succeed at our second one because we know what we did wrong on the first one. Then we lowered the development budget, of course. $600,000 development cost, 8 months to complete. And we generated $50,000 in revenue. I would call that a fail also. So, Nutaku was born. Nutaku was born and launched in January 2015. So technically we're 3.5 years old, roughly. We are number one. We are the number one adult gaming platform in the world. You'll see some numbers. Free-to-play and premium games are our best sellers out there. We consider ourselves to be a great, maybe not the best, but at least a great alternative to the overcrowded stores out there. And on top of that, we have a targeted and captive audience, and they are engaged. And we're going to be looking at some numbers. In August, we are very proud to say that we breached the 100 million visit mark by 15 million. So we hit 115 million visits on the site, on the platform last month. Compared to Congregate with 24.5, and these numbers are really recent. I just updated them before coming here. Miniclip, 18 million. Newgrounds, 15.8. Armor Games, 12.9. So you can see how we basically have progressed and crush what's out there. Our numbers, drop rate, bounce rate, page per visit, monthly visitors, average visit duration, we're just crushing it, and we're doing great at it. We're very happy about that. How many games do we have? We currently have roughly 170 games, 30 to 40 free-to-play games, which are generating the bulk of the revenues on the platform. Our audience, our consumers, our players really buy into the free-to-play model with the adult content that we've brought out there. So what kind of games do we support? Free-to-play. We have a vast appetite for free-to-play games. Premium games, still going really well. Mobile browser, Android apps, obviously iOS, Apple will definitely not take any adult content. Good news, as far as the mobile version is concerned, we are launching our client this fall, and we believe this will increase the number of installs and obviously the engagement for the users. So what should you do next if you're considering? Who has an open mind here about saying, maybe I could take my game and make it an adult game? So, right, I love it. You own it. You own it. So what do you do next? Guys, head out to nutaku.net. Try out the top 10 games. This will give you an indicator. And they come from the clickers to the RPG to the card collecting games. It's all across the board as far as gameplay genres are concerned. Play those games. Get your wheels turning and start looking into how do I make my game and how do I add a layer of adult content on top of it. Come to see us. We got Tom, Dan, Vlad, everyone's here. There's a good delegation of Nutaku. Look for the t-shirt. We also hang around the chilling lounge, which some of you, I've seen some faces hang around in the chill lounge yesterday. Come and see us. We'll look at your game. We'll give you some insights. We'll give you some inputs. Once this initial input is done, we'll put some people at work to support you on how to adultify your game. If you lack the talent, we have the operational support to provide that art for you, the developer. We want you to concentrate on one single thing, is to make the best game possible out there. Don't want you to focus on distribution, don't want you to focus on marketing, don't want you to focus on user acquisition. We handle that. We have a team of 25 people on the platform solely dedicated at generating that 150 million visits and counting. Just FYI, in May at Nordic Game, we were at 71 million visits. So 3 months, 45 million growth. Just FYI. We'll review your game. We have a very, very simple, streamlined process. We have supporting documentation. Vlad can tell you all about it. And we will support you through this process. We're looking for serious developers. We're looking for developers that will work with us on multiple titles. If it's approved, the contract is signed, and you can start working. You can start focusing on doing what you do best, which is developing a game. The game will launch, guaranteed features, guaranteed marketing, guaranteed traffic, but we can work that out at contract level. And start making money. Now, what we say to a lot of developers out there, excuse me, some of you may be worried, maybe not you, but some of you may be worried about the proximity of your brand name, and the adult market. Look, guys, we're totally comfortable with that. We respect that. We tell you, create a subsidiary company and hide it at arm's length. put another name on it, pass the assets, make money, and use the adult market to actually fund your mainstream user acquisition, marketing, and or game development. It's as simple as that. We've seen in the past, Tom can testify to that, we've seen in the past studios that were struggling that are now partners with us, been partners with us for a year, 2 years in some cases. They are extremely successful, and some of them have even totally pivoted their business model to say, okay, screw the, excuse my French, but screw the mainstream. I'm sticking to adult because I'm actually generating revenues here, and I'm having fun. Who do we work with? We work with developers from across the world. Europe, South America, Asia, Russia, Africa, everywhere. Everywhere. It's all about the game. We don't really worry about where it comes from or where you guys are located. It's all about the game. Any questions?
Yeah, a few hands there. I'm trying to remember who was fast. I think he was slight. Oh, it's him. Yeah, okay.
I think so, yeah. I have to be the judge.
My eye, so I couldn't quite tell. Gentleman in the grey top.
Hello, thank you for the talk. It was pretty interesting. Just a quick question: can we have some data on your demographics, on like the audience of?
Currently, I would say male 18-35. But hey, for all you women out there, and we are looking for women developing games for women. We are addressing and approaching the LGBTQ market heavily. We're going to launch our first gay game this fall. We have 4 commissioned games in the LGBTQ realm of things. So we want to make Nutaku an all-inclusive platform. So yeah, 18-35, growing. But we're counting on the LGBTQ angle to grow that feminine user base.
Mine is just mere curiosity. When you show the last slide about like all the countries you work with,
yes.
Which one is the one that you work the most? That's very interesting.
That's an interesting one. European developers recently, we've seen an influx in European developers. South America, working a lot with South American developers. But hey, we're here in order to increase. We know the quality of developers that are present in the European territory, and that's why we're here, and we're going to be here again.
And stealing some of your time, sorry.
No worries.
Also, like this topic about the LGBT supporting that. Also, we take pride in that at Testroni. So, if possible, I would love to talk to you later about this topic later on.
Hey, would love to. That's
yes.
what we're here for.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I actually have 2 questions. Do you think every game is able to be made as an adult game?
The sheer variety of game genres and game categories present on our platform, I think, is a clear testimony to that. We believe in an intelligent approach. As I said, we don't want gamify porn, so it's not just about taking a game and slapping naked pictures on it. And by the way, there are no pictures, no videos. Everything is digital, by the way. That's very important. So that's why we collaborate with the developer to make an intelligent integration of the adult content. It has to come as a reward after grinding. And all the mechanics are there. All the classic game mechanics are just there. They're heavily present. But the prize is just slightly different than just a bag of gold.
So no glue-ons?
Pardon me?
No glue-ons. Like. And the second question, you said about an app, like Nutaku app, for example, could it be on iOS?
It will never be on iOS.
So it couldn't be like a platform inside a platform, no?
No, Apple is a little tighter than Google, let's put it this way.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
It's an interesting experience I had when I was running 3's game platform. We had an adult game section, and I think obviously most of them were terrible. I mean, genuinely terrible. Not even games, really. Just excuses to reveal a picture.
Tetris porn, right?
Yeah, well, actually, if you say that, they're the funniest. I find there's a lot of parallel between the best-selling, adult games and humour. Kama Sutras was amazing, and it was basically Tetris with just shapes of people in positions. And there's nothing kind of offensive about that at all. It was just genuinely funny. And the other one I thought was really fascinating, again, maybe a little bit more male-focused, was fake or real. And
yes, I remember that.
It was amazing.
Yes.
And it was so, I mean, it actually was something I did with my wife because it was funny. And it was, although I have to say, as someone who's
naughty. It was naughty.
As having to run an adult part of a game service, it's amazing how quickly you get bored of it. I mean, just the kind of sexiness of it. It's not sexy after you've seen,
35 real or fake, right?
Yeah.
Geez, yeah. No, we're not there.
No, we're not there. There's a question there at the back. Let's get the mic to you so that we can get it on the recording.
So, not pornification, but freeing the content, right?
Not pornification, but?
Freeing the content.
Interesting.
Like letting you do what you want without consequences.
Actually, we think of it not as consequences, but as rewards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, more than,
But it does raise a few kind of interesting kind of conundrums, and I wonder how, when you're dealing with mature content, obviously there's a spectrum.
Yep.
And you're dealing with something which some people wouldn't like.
Absolutely.
Politically, or morally, but the moral equivalence.
We also call it compliance.
Compliance, yeah.
We have a team of 30 people just validating compliance. Yeah. So there are 5 basic rules that we can share with you on a one-to-one basis, and that's part of our templates. There are things that you cannot do. Animals and humans, let's not do that. We now accept tentacles, though.
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh, sorry, there's a question there, yeah.
In which cases you make the line that this is only porn and this is a great game?
Well, we have a cross-functional team reviewing all projects. We have production, game design, platform who knows their player base, knows exactly what they're working on, what they're buying into. It's 8 people reviewing every single project, providing you with constructive feedback at every step of the way. How do we judge that? Well, there's a combined, 80, 100 years of gaming experience in the group of people that's actually looking at the games that we are looking to fund. Because it's important also to notice that once you come to us, we have a $10 million USD or Euro investment fund that we are more than willing to part with and to share with great developers. Just saying.
So we've got just time for one quick question.
Yeah, okay. Since you guys saw you were releasing Nutaku client, but how do you guys feel that Steam has just now updated the policy? They're allowing everything, of course, behind a few clicks, but do you see that as a threat, or how are you?
Look, for the last 8 months, Steam has been allowing and disallowing every 3 weeks. So we take it with a grain of salt. Of course, we're cognizant of the situation. We're looking into it. We are going to address it if needed. But we believe we have an offering that's quite different. And you know what? On Steam, you're still going to be stuck with the same issue of discoverability. You are a subcategory within hundreds of thousands of games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And on Steam, my friends can see what I'm playing, so that's...
I like the way you think. I like the way you think.
That's kind of a good point to close. I mean, one thing I would chuck out, just to add to that, is, don't assume that all adult games have to be the same. One of my favourite talks at Amaze Berlin was a woman talking about the game that she made about the changes to the British sex laws, which was an incredibly political, charged game and really interesting. Anyway, so lots of choices, lots of options, and obviously this has got to be one of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.